Hello everyone, and welcome to the season finale of Rising Ninja Warrior's third season. This time around we saw over 70 competitors take on the first stage, but from that only 23 were able to advance to stage 2. Of those 23, there are many competitors that are still in their first time competing, such as It's Turtwig1, Kurumi, and many more. We also have some more recognizable faces on the second stage, including Basebeak, Andrastical, Bowsy Pie, and a few others. But this stage 2 is a brutal challenge of speed, and that can certainly cause some issues for some of these competitors, especially those that have not reached this point in the course before. But we will just have to see how that turns out here tonight. Without further ado, let's head down to the second stage.
Taking off the second stage is Dragon Rider. You must make a jump onto a pendulum, work your way around, jump and grab onto a bar, and then jump to safety. Following Dragon Rider is the Salmon Ladder. Grab onto the bar and hop it up 3 rungs to reach the top. Next is the Giant Cubes. You must make your way across 3 separate panels to get to safety. Diamond Dash is one of the trickiest obstacles, as you must make your way across 4 rotating steps without them spinning out of control. Roulette Row is an obstacle that requires you to swing across 2 wheels, then jump to safety. Lastly is the Caution Ring. Jump onto a rotating platform, jump over the barrier, and then make the dismount to complete the second stage. You must hit the button in under 60 seconds, or else you will be eliminated.
Well, first up on stage 2 is Kazketa. This is his first time on the second stage, so he's a bit inexperienced with some of these obstacles, so it will be interesting to see how he fares on the second stage, as we are now underway on stage 2. And Kazketa will make the jump onto the bar, just needs to dismount, and he times it perfectly. Great job on that first obstacle. Salmon Ladder's not too challenging, but it is a bit difficult to time these jumps right, and you can't get caught up because it will definitely cost you a bit of time. Now Kazketa on that first panel almost overshot, and he didn't recenter himself on that second ledge, and he will slip off the end of the first panel. Next up on stage 2 is Half Mickey Boy. He had a good performance on stage 1 and is looking to replicate that here on the second stage, as he's now on to the Dragon Rider. And we saw Kazketa complete this obstacle with no trouble, and Half Mickey Boy will do the exact same, and he's on to the Salmon Ladder. Kazketa had no trouble with this obstacle either, but Half Mickey Boy drops back on that first rung, almost fails the Salmon Ladder, but gets through and is on to the Giant Cubes. On that second panel, gotta get around without slipping up. He's on that third panel and got the dismount. Now he's into the Diamond Dash. Some of these jumps can be very tricky as Half Mickey Boy goes down on Diamond Dash. Well, following Half Mickey Boy is Kulai. He made it to the Wicked Wingnuts last season, which was the third obstacle of stage 2, and he's looking to get past the second stage this time around. Bit of a slip up there, and he undershoots the bar on Dragon Rider. One of the most experienced competitors on the stage goes down early. Larry, I thought we agreed to cut this.
Look, I'm sorry. It's a part of the contract.
Well, next up on stage 2 is Min Ninja 712. And this is his first time competing, which makes getting to this point even more of an accomplishment. He got through the Giant Cubes as well, but just like Half Mickey Boy, tripped up on Diamond Dash. Lover of Redos, Dragon Master 0629 was next after Min Ninja, but this time he will not get a redo as he failed on the Dragon Rider. Well, next up on the second stage is AA Sixers Fan 2, who's the first competitor to have completed the first stage this season, and he's hoping to do the same here on stage 2. He's not reached the third stage before in Rising Ninja Warrior. He hasn't even reached the second stage, so this is his first time getting to this point. He's now on to the salmon ladder, making it up nicely. He's up perfectly, no struggle on the salmon ladder, moving a bit quicker than some other competitors on giant cubes, but not rushing. He's got about 35 seconds at the end of giant cubes, and he's now into the diamond dash. Nobody's completed this obstacle so far, and he's got it. And just 2 obstacles to go, 25 seconds on the clock on roulette row, and takes 2 swings, takes 1 on the second wheel, and got it. Just has caution ring to go, gotta get over that barrier, and oh! Got hit by the barrier and undershoots the rotating platform. Following a heartbreaking exit from AA6ers Fan 2 on one of the last jumps of the obstacle is Elmo the Jokester. He's also in his first time competing on this competition, and he's already made it to the second stage, but he's hoping to make it to the third stage. And he's certainly had a great rookie season making it this far. He's now on Salmon Ladder. We saw this give half Mickey Boy a bit of trouble, but Elmo will have no issue there. And he's now on Giant Cubes. 20 seconds in. He's got about 40 seconds left. And he's taking his time on Giant Cubes, but isn't going too slow. Goes right into Diamond Dash. We've seen this be a bit of trouble for some competitors so far, but not for Elmo. He's now into the roulette row. You can't get too much swing on this, but you can't get too little either. And Elmo almost overswings and gets on that second wheel and will get through the roulette row. We just saw AA6ers Fan go down on this jump here, and Elmo gets over the barrier and gets onto the finish platform and hits the buzzer. And Elmo will be the first competitor to advance to the third stage. Well, here's Super SpongeBob 303, also a rookie this season, who's made it to the second stage like so many others. He almost undershot the bar there on Dragon Rider, but gets through and is now into the Salmon Ladder. We saw this give half Mickey Boy a bit of trouble. It hasn't really given anybody else much of an issue. He's struggling to get up that last jump there, but got it, and is now into the giant cubes. This one's been a bit of a problem for a couple competitors so far, and he's taking his time to make that jump to the final panel. Just needs to dismount, going backwards, and he got it. A weird strategy, but it pays off for him, and he almost slipped up on that second diamond, but is on to the roulette row. We saw Elmo and AA6ers Fan get through this, and SpongeBob will slip off. And roulette row claims its first victim. Larry, is there any way we can cut out this segment? Like, please. Well, following Super SpongeBob's fail was DPS13452, and he, also in his rookie season here on Rising Ninja Warrior, they made it through the giant cubes mostly, but went down on that dismount. Then it was Square Oswald 09, who is very consistent on the first stage, but wildly inconsistent on the second in this competition, and he also went down on giant cubes. Well, giant cubes tonight has been brutal so far. Ganail Dog hoping to avoid failing the third obstacle as well. He almost failed the first obstacle, almost failed the first jump, but gets through Dragon Rider and is now onto the Salmon Ladder. Went down on stage 1 last season, but this time around had a much better performance and is now moving on to the giant cubes. Now, this has really been the make or break point for a lot of competitors so far, along with the Diamond Dash, which is the next obstacle. Ganail Dog making that jump to the third panel, and he'll get through the giant cubes, and he's taking his time to begin the Diamond Dash, and he's on that final one, and he tripped up at the end! Yet another competitor out on Diamond Dash. Well, this stage 2 tonight has been much more brutal than the previous 2 iterations of the course, and next up is It's Turtwig 1. He's practiced this stage 2 for at least 30 hours, and it almost didn't pay off as he almost undershot that landing pad for Dragon Rider, but he's now onto the salmon ladder, and it's not going to give him any trouble. And he's into giant cubes. And he's going very quickly, much faster than everyone else we've seen on this obstacle, and he's now not going to take any time to begin the diamond dash, and he's through and on to roulette row. He saw this take out Super SpongeBob. Turtwig will take 2 swings on the first wheel. He's gonna take a second swing on that second wheel, and it will pay off. Got plenty of momentum. Just as the caution ring left, we saw someone go down on this already, but Turtwig will not, and he hits the button, and that is nearly a flawless run from Turtwig, and he'll be headed to the 3rd stage. Well, here comes Yas1234551. He went down on the Dragon Glider last season, and he's hoping to complete the Dragon Rider, and he got a lot of momentum on the dismount. It's gotta feel good to get some revenge on the obstacle that took you out last season, and now all that focus can shift to the rest of the 2nd stage, as he's now on to the giant cubes. Not going as fast as Turtwig, but still has a pretty good pace to this point. Gets on that last panel and gets the dismount. He's got just over 30 seconds left for these final 3 obstacles. He's right through Diamond Dash. No struggle on that obstacle at all. Goes to the edge of that trampoline, and I don't know what happened there. Yas somehow stays on the wheel and gets on that second wheel and almost undershoots the dismount. Yas somehow stays alive, and just as caution ring, we saw this take out AA Sixers fan, and Yas goes down in the exact same jump.
Look, I just talked with contracting, and they said we can't remove it, alright?
Well, next up on stage 2 is the competitor that cares more about getting the fastest time than getting far on the course, and it cost her there as she went down in the first obstacle of the 2nd stage. Well, following Karumi was Hallucination, who actually broke their finger before they ran the 2nd stage, and it certainly costed them this time around as they went down on the giant cubes. Well, next up on stage 2 is Kovbin3913. There's also a rookie looking to get to the 3rd stage in their first appearance in the competition. And Kovbin begins on Dragon Glider. And he's not going to jump immediately. Will take a second swing on the pendulum. First competitor I've seen do that. And it does work out for him as he's now on to the salmon ladder. This obstacle hasn't given many competitors trouble so far, but it's given a couple competitors a bit of an issue, but not an issue for Kovbin. He's now on to the giant cubes. This obstacle's probably been the toughest on the 2nd stage here tonight. And Kovbin taking his time, not rushing at all, just needs the dismount. And Kovbin slips off the 3rd panel and goes down on the giant cubes. Well, next up on stage 2 is Skillical, and last time around, he went down on the Wicked Wingnuts, which is the 3rd obstacle of stage 2, and he's certainly looking for some revenge this time around, like a lot of other competitors we've seen this time around on stage 2. And he is about to begin, and here he goes on to the Dragon Rider. Skill grabs on the bar and got through. And he's now on to the salmon ladder. Nobody's gone down on this obstacle. We've seen a couple have some issues, but nobody's really struggled that much with the salmon ladder. And Skill is on to the giant cubes now. This obstacle been the toughest so far, but Skill will make it look easy as he's now into the diamond dash. This one is tricky if you're not careful, and Skill is careful and gets through and is on to the roulette row, taking no time to begin the 5th obstacle, and Skill will go one swing on that second wheel, and he's just got caution ring left. Gets over the barrier, and Skillical will be the 3rd competitor to advance to the 3rd stage, joining Elmo and Turtwig. Well, next on stage 2 is Osway Rise Up. Last season, he went down on stage 1, so he's not looking for any revenge here tonight on stage 2, as much as he's just looking to have a good performance. He's on Dragon Rider and grabs onto that bar, and a very smooth dismount there on the first obstacle as he's now into the salmon ladder. I mentioned a moment ago that this obstacle's not been failed here tonight so far, and Osway will complete the salmon ladder as well and is on to the giant cubes. And unlike Skill, he's taking his time here. Understandably so, given it's been the toughest obstacle so far tonight. But Osway will get through, and he's on to the Diamond Dash. You have to be very precise with where you land, and Osway almost tripped up, but he will get through and is on to the roulette row. We saw Super SpongeBob struggle on this first wheel, and Osway will slip off. And his run on the second stage comes to an end on Roulette Row. Let's go, it's the final fast forward section! Well, in the final fast forward section, Blocky S Bubble No 2 took on the second stage. This is his first time competing, and he made the most of it, but as a mobile player, Giant Cube's much more challenging than it is for some competitors who compete on a computer with a mouse, and it really showed up there at the end of Giant Cubes. Well, here comes Longshot Arrow 77. He's extremely consistent on the second stage. His worry this time around is the third stage, but he's still got to get through 6 obstacles here on stage 2 to reach that point, and it has not been an easy path for a lot of these competitors here tonight. Only 3 competitors so far on stage 2 have reached the button and advanced to the third stage. Longshot hoping to be the 4th, and he is going a bit quicker than the rest of the field on Giant Cubes, except for maybe Skill and Turtwig. And Long right into Diamond Dash and has no trouble. Great job on Diamond Dash, and he's now on to Roulette Row. It's 25 seconds for these last 2 obstacles, taking a third swing on the first wheel, and he will make up for it with 1 swing on the second. Longshot just has caution ring to go. He gets over the barrier, and Longshot Arrow 77 is headed to the third stage, and he's the 4th competitor to advance. Well, next up on stage 2 is one of the favorites to win it all this season, and it is Bowsy Pie. He's the only competitor to have completed the third stage in testing sessions. Last season, he went down on the window hang on the third stage, and he still has to complete the second stage to get back to that point and possibly get some revenge on that obstacle. And he's now into the giant cubes, and he's moving quickly, faster than maybe anyone on this obstacle tonight. Took a bit of a second to size up the jump to the third panel, and he's now in a Diamond Dash, and that might be the best attempt I've seen on that obstacle as well. He's now just got Roulette Row and Caution Ring to go! And Bowsy Pie undershoots the second wheel, and he will not be able to even have a chance to get revenge on Window Hang. Well, next on stage 2, yet another favorite to win it all. It is Andrastical, known for always winning. Andrastical very consistent on the second stage. He's now onto the Dragon Glider, and a good dismount. And he's now into the Salmon Ladder. This has not taken out anyone tonight, and Andrastical hoping not to be the first to go down. He's going quickly, and he got up, and is now into the Giant Cubes. We just saw Bowsy Pie go extremely fast on this obstacle. Andrastical might have gone slightly slower, but still went much faster than most competitors on that obstacle, having a bit of trouble here on Diamond Dash, and he almost failed the dismount, and he's now into Roulette Row. We just saw Bowsy Pie fail this obstacle, and Andrastical taking a second swing, and he just got the dismount. Just has Caution Ring to go, and Andrastical undershot the spinning platform. Well, after 2 of the favorites to win it all just went down back to back, you know that has to be in the head of Basebeak, who's the only competitor to have completed the third stage in competition. And he made it there last season, and he's hoping to make it back once again. He's on to the Dragon Rider. And he is through the first obstacle, and now into Salmon Ladder. Nobody's failed this obstacle tonight. If Basebeak completes it, it will have not taken out anyone here on the second stage, and Basebeak is through Salmon Ladder. And now Giant Cubes has been a bit of an issue for a lot of these competitors here tonight, but Basebeak is through, and now in a Diamond Dash. We saw Andrastical almost undershoot the dismount, and Basebeak will have no problem. And he's into Roulette Row. Has 2 obstacles left in about 25 seconds. Gets on that second wheel and will take 1 swing and get through. Caution ring, the only obstacle to go. Basebeak gets over the barrier, and Basebeak will be headed back to the 3rd stage. Well, at the end of a brutal second stage, only 5 competitors remain, including Elmo the Jokester, It's Turtwig 1, Skillicle, Longshot Arrow 77, and Basebeak. The 3rd stage is a nigh impossible test of precision, timing, and nerves, and this time around it all begins on the propeller bars, which consist of 3 spinning bars with small ledges to grab onto. Make your way through and grab the rope to dismount. Then it's on to Window Hang, an obstacle that requires you to make many precise jumps and wraparounds to make your way through the maze of 8 hanging windows. Following the window hang is the ultimate cliffhanger, a massive construct of small ledges that will require perfectly timed jumps to make your way through. Beginning the back half of Stage 3 is Globe Grasper, which includes 2 sections of hanging orbs. You must make your way through both sections and then dismount directly into the next obstacle. The next obstacle is a redesigned version of Hangman, consisting of 3 boards, the second of which will rotate, requiring pinpoint accuracy and timing to make it across. Following Hangman is possibly the toughest obstacle in the competition's history, and it's the Wingnut Alley. You must make your way across 4 swinging handholds that require absolute perfection when it comes to timing. Lastly is the double wedge, the ultimate test of nerves and precision, as you must hop the bar across 2 sets of angled glass panels to reach the end of the obstacle. If you can make the dismount and hit the button, you will advance to the final stage. Well, first up on Stage 3 is Elmo the Jokester. This is his first time competing in the competition, and he's one of 2 rookies to make it this far, which is an outstanding accomplishment. But the 3rd stage is much tougher than the previous 2, and it is not even a contest, as Elmo will get through the propeller bars and he's now into the window hang. And this obstacle takes a long time if you are careful. Elmo gets on that second window, and he's slowly making his way across. Definitely a good strategy to take his time and be careful. Elmo wraps around, gets onto that 6th window, just has 2 more to go. Gets on that 7th window, and now just needs 1 more transition. Elmo has got it, and Elmo is through the window hang and onto the ultimate cliffhanger. This obstacle took out over half the field that made it this far last season on Stage 3. Elmo gets up onto that second panel, making his way through the cliffhanger very quickly. Now needs the first flip, and Elmo goes down on the ultimate cliffhanger. An outstanding performance by Elmo, and just a great accomplishment to make it this far, but Stage 3 claims its first victim. Next is the final rookie left in the competition. It's Turtwig 1. He's specifically known for spending a lot of time practicing for Stage 3, but that can cause you to overthink some obstacles. And Turtwig is onto the rope, and he is through the propeller bars and now onto window hang. This didn't cause Elmo much trouble. Turtwig gets on that second window. He's going a bit faster than Elmo did on this obstacle. And he's slowly making his way through. Turtwig not made it to stage 3 in many competitions before, so he definitely has to be feeling the nerves as he's through window hang and now on to the ultimate cliffhanger. We just saw Elmo go down on this obstacle. Turtwig going fast on it as well, gets onto that small ledge and gets the first flip. Now the lateral transition, he's got it. Just the second flip and one more jump left, and Turtwig goes down on the second flip of the cliffhanger.
Makes it through. Now he's another on balance take now. Makes the jump to the rope. Now he's onto the metal spin. Can he complete this? This was a troublemaker in the previous tournaments. Makes the jump and ooh! So let's see how he does. Makes it through just fine. Now he's onto the thingies of death. And ooh, dismounts it wrong, and he is not moving on to stage 3.
Well, Skillicle has certainly had a lot of trouble on the second stage, but this time around he finally was able to break through. And now the question is, how will he be able to do that now that he's finally made it to stage 3 in a competition? He has a chance to do well, but the question still remains, how far will he go? Here goes Skillicle on the third stage. Now on propeller bars. We haven't seen this be much of a problem for Turtwig or Elmo so far. Skillicle has some experience on this competition, but not on the third stage. And he is through the propeller bars and into window hang. This obstacle has not caused much of an issue for Turtwig or Elmo! And just like that, Skillicle, just a slight hesitation.
So Longshot's already been pretty groundbreaking. Working his way across this new lamp grasper, we saw Brandon do it smoothly. Can Long do the same? Approaching the end here. No! Longshot has made a fatal error on lamp grasper, and I've got to say, that's shocking to me.
Can Longshot Arrow join the likes of Braver Coolio 02 and Dig Ice Wolf at the final stage? He is onto the flying bar right now. Second cradle. Oh my goodness. Yes! Third cradle. Going to jump to the fourth cradle. Come on. Fifth cradle. This is bigger. The gap is bigger than previous one. He done it! Third clear! The third person to clear the third stage. Longshot is going to the final stage.
Longshot Arrow 77 certainly had some mixed results on stage 3 before, and he's hoping to get through the third stage once again here. Last time he went down on the ultimate cliffhanger, which is a much easier version than it is this time around. This season, nobody's made it past that point. Currently, Turtwig has the first place spot as he made it to the second flip. And Longshot moving much quicker through window hang than we've seen Elmo or Turtwig go through so far. Skillicle failed window hang, but mostly because of slight hesitation. Longshot is through the window hang and now into the ultimate cliffhanger. He's looking for some revenge here on this obstacle as a different version of it took him out last season. Longshot sizing up the jump to the smaller ledge and he slips off! Made the same mistake he made last season and goes down on the exact same obstacle. Walking up now to the third stage is our final chance at a third stage clear, and it is Basebeak, the only competitor in competition history to have completed the third stage. And here he goes, on to the propeller bars. Nobody's completed the cliffhanger, and currently Turtwig has first place as he made it to the second flip. Basebeak, if he wants first place, must make it to that point in a faster time or make it past the cliffhanger. And he's on window hang. We've only seen Skillicle go down on this obstacle. Everyone else has made it to the ultimate cliffhanger. Basebeak a bit slower than Longshot on this obstacle, but not going too slow to where the nerves can start to really get to him. He's got one more jump down to this final window, and he's got it. And Basebeak is on to the ultimate cliffhanger. Nobody's completed this obstacle here tonight. And he's on this upward section, and now making his way across. We saw Longshot just go down on this jump, and Basebeak does the exact same thing as Longshot. And the tournament will come to an end on the ultimate cliffhanger. This season has been a wild ride of twists and turns, but it has certainly been a fun one. And this time around we saw over 70 people run the competition, but in the end, nobody was able to complete the third stage. This has been a massive project that I've been working on for over half a year, and it is finally coming to an end. We saw so many spectacular performances from many rookies, and many shocking exits from the more experienced competitors. We saw breakout performances from competitors like Elmo the Jokester, It's Turtwig 1, and many more. From the field on stage 1, only 23 were able to advance to the second stage. Of those 23, we only saw 5 competitors advance to the third stage, where the competition came to an end on the ultimate cliffhanger. Giant cubes was an obstacle that unexpectedly took out 6 of the 23 who reached the second stage, and every other obstacle except the salmon ladder took out 3 competitors. The caution ring also surprisingly took out 3 competitors, while in the testing sessions it was not failed a single time. I'd also like to give a massive congratulations to It's Turtwig 1 for making it further than anyone this season, getting all the way to the second flip of the ultimate cliffhanger. I'd also like to give a special thanks to everyone who helped out with the competition, the course, the editing, the music, or even footage from other courses. But lastly, I'd like to thank you for watching this competition, as none of this would be possible without you.